My career, it has happened many, many times since when someone would intimidate me or scare me and take something that I believe was mine. Get between somebody and their paper. Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him.
So now Dave Chappelle stepping into the Shannon Sharpe versus Tony Busby mess. And what he's saying is wild. He's throwing shade on the whole lawsuit, hinting that this isn't just some random legal drama. It's a straight up setup. Word is Dave and some insiders are saying this whole thing feels like a strategic hit job. Not just to mess with Shannon's name, but to embarrass him, shut him down, and remind him real quick who's still pulling strings in the background.
You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you.
Let's not act brand new. Shannon's been making serious noise lately. His show club, Shay Shay, has been turning into a truth bomb factory, with guests like Cat Williams and Monique dropping major heat about what's really going on in Hollywood. And just when Shannon's bag was about to get way bigger, like 100 million big, boom! This lawsuit drops out of nowhere. And now Dave Chappelle's out here basically saying this timing ain't no accident. Folks close to him even claim he tried to give Shannon a heads up before this storm rolled in. After that Cat Williams interview shattered records, becoming the most watched interview in YouTube history, things started heating up real fast. Now Dave Chappelle's out here thinking this lawsuit against Shannon ain't just legal smoke. It's a full-blown warning shot. The kind of quiet threat the industry sends when a black man starts gaining too much power and exposing what they want to keep hidden. But it's not just one-sided. Tony Busby's clapping back with serious fire. He's claiming that Shannon's team already tried to pay off the alleged victim with a $10 million hush deal. And here's the crazy part. Shannon himself allegedly admitted to making that offer. That's got people asking the obvious. If he's really innocent, why throw that kind of money around? And it gets worse. There's an audio clip floating around where Shannon can supposedly be heard threatening to choke the ish out of the alleged victim. That's not a good look, no matter how you flip it. So what's the real story here? Did Shannon cross the line and now he's trying to spin it as some industry setup? Or is Dave actually onto something and this whole thing really is a takedown in disguise? This situation's got layers and it's getting messier by the second. All right, here's the background on this bombshell lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe that's got everyone talking. On Sunday, April 20th, word hit the streets that a woman listed as Jane Doe filed a disturbing lawsuit against Shannon in Nevada. She's claiming he assaulted her multiple times during what she says was a short-lived relationship that began after they met at a gym in LA back in 2023. The woman is being represented by Houston attorney Tony Busby, the same guy who's been in the spotlight lately for filing dozens of lawsuits against Diddy and trying, but failing, to take Jay-Z to court. So now Busby's locked in on Shannon, and what Jane Doe is alleging in this case is straight up intense. According to her complaint, Shannon, who's now 56, first met her when she was just 19, and then he allegedly kept pressing her until she gave in. She says he didn't treat her like a real person, more like a possession. Jane Doe accuses him of choking her, making serious threats against her life, secretly recording their intimate moments, and even sharing those recordings without her knowing. She also claims Shannon said some deeply disturbing things, like wanting to do things to her that would make no other man want her. These are some heavy accusations, and if even a piece of this is true, it's more than just scandal. It's terrifying. The lawsuit takes an even wilder turn. Jane Doe claims that Shannon somehow figured out how to sneak into her apartment complex without her permission, and that's just the start. She describes a chilling moment where Shannon allegedly snapped on her while a firearm was sitting close by, fully visible. According to the legal docs, she was terrified for her safety. She says she tried to secretly send her location to friends from her phone just in case things went left, but Shannon allegedly caught her in the act, and that's when things took a dark turn. The lawsuit says Shannon grabbed her by the neck and threatened her, saying, "If you ever do that again, I will fin kick you." That's some serious aggression being alleged here. And it doesn't stop there. The lawsuit also brings up a separate incident from September 2024 when Shannon reportedly went live on Instagram by accident, leaking an intimate moment with another woman named Michelle. Now, to be clear, Michelle isn't Jane Doe, but Jane says seeing that live not only messed with her emotionally, it made her fear for her health too, with concerns about possible STDs. Jane Doe claims that after that IG Live mess, she tried to cut Shannon off completely. But according to her, he didn't back off. He kept coming after her, refusing to let her go. According to the lawsuit, things took a horrifying turn on October 6, 2024. Jane Doe claims Shannon forced her into a sexual act, allegedly holding her down while she cried. But what she says happened next, even more disturbing. She accuses him of then forcibly assaulting her and says it didn't stop there. The complaint outlines yet another alleged incident, this time on January 2nd, 2025. Jane Doe claims Shannon once again forced her into oral sex for 2 minutes, then allegedly assaulted her again. She says the whole attack lasted around 10 minutes and ended only when he was done. It's a gut-wrenching claim, and she says she was crying and begging for him to stop the entire time. The language in the lawsuit doesn't hold back. It paints a picture of Shannon Sharpe not just as a former NFL star or a big-time TV personality, but as someone who allegedly used his fame and influence to control and hurt women behind the scenes. The complaint calls him a flawed, narcissistic individual who spent years manipulating and violating women, using his celebrity status like a weapon. Now, Jane Doe says she's taking a stand. This lawsuit, she claims, is her way of finally trying to shut it all down. For good. Jane Doe is now demanding a full jury trial, and she's going after a massive $50 million in damages. And Shannon, he wasted no time clapping back. Through his lawyer, Lanny Davis, he hit social media with a statement revealing Jane Doe's identity, naming her as Gabriela Zuniga. That move alone caused a stir. Zuniga's not exactly unknown. She's got a solid following on platforms like OnlyFans and Instagram, where she goes by the handle @SheIsCarly. In Shannon's camp, they're painting a whole different picture of this situation. According to his lawyer, there are text messages that allegedly prove the relationship between Shannon and Zuniga was completely consensual. But here's where it gets sketchy. Shannon's lawyer didn't actually post the screenshots of these messages. Instead, he just quoted parts of them, saying Zuniga sent Shannon explicit requests. One allegedly asked him to choke her with a dog collar, and another supposedly said she wanted him to get her pregnant. Shannon's legal team isn't holding back. They're calling the entire lawsuit a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions. They also say it's packed with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and that they're ready to fight it all in court. And remember that voice recording where Shannon allegedly threatened to choke her? That's still floating around, adding even more chaos to this already explosive case. Shannon's lawyer is firing back hard, saying the audio recording Jane Doe released was heavily edited to twist a consensual moment into something way darker. According to his legal team, everything that went down between Shannon and Gabriela Zuniga was part of a fully consensual relationship, one that even included role-playing and fantasy talk that they say she specifically asked for. His lawyer made it clear Shannon categorically denies any claims of force or wrongdoing, and when it comes to the most serious allegation, they're calling it an outright lie. His camp says this whole thing is nothing more than a shady attempt at blackmail, and Shannon refuses to be dragged down by it. Shannon didn't just stop with a statement. He dropped a video online where he flat out called the lawsuit a straight-up shakedown, and he didn't hold back on Tony Busby either. Shannon claimed Busby's got a pattern of going after powerful black men, pointing to that recent lawsuit against Jay-Z as an example. He's accusing Busby of playing media games to spin the narrative, and now Shannon says he's ready to strike back. He's threatening to sue both Busby and Zuniga for defamation, claiming they've gone too far with the lies, and he's not letting it slide. But here's where things get even messier. Shannon's own lawyer had to come clean and admit that earlier this year, Shannon actually offered Gabriela Zuniga a whopping $10 million to keep quiet and walk away from the whole situation. Yeah, you read that right. While Shannon's out here calling her a liar and claiming this is all a scam, he also tried to drop 8 figures to make it disappear. That's got people scratching their heads. Because if this lawsuit is really baseless like they say, why not hit her with a defamation suit from the jump instead of throwing hush money at the problem? Tony Busby wasted no time pouncing on that contradiction. He hopped on Instagram and blasted Shannon's team, saying the whole situation doesn't add up. In his words, on the one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his lawyers claim that the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless. Yet, on the other hand, they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. That statement alone is sparking even more questions because now it's not just about guilt or innocence, it's about what Shannon was trying to hide. It's official, Jane Doe was offered that $10 million payout to keep quiet, but she turned it down flat. Instead, she's pushing forward with the lawsuit, and now things are taking a nasty turn. Shannon's team is trying to discredit her and even publicly exposed her identity, basically doxing her. And it doesn't stop there. Zuniga's lawyer, Tony Busby, says he's also being targeted by Shannon's crew for standing beside his client. But just when you thought this whole mess couldn't spiral any further, boom, Dave Chappelle is back in the mix. Sources close to Dave are saying he tried to warn Shannon that this type of situation was coming. Why? Because Shannon was starting to shake the room. He gave the mic to people like Cat Williams and brought on guests who weren't afraid to call out the shadowy side of Hollywood. Word is, Dave told Shannon straight up, they don't like it when you start pulling back the curtain and get too loud with the truth. And now, it's looking like that warning might have been spot on. Fans are also raising eyebrows at the timing of all this. This lawsuit dropped right when the buzz started about Shannon locking in a mega media deal reportedly worth over $100 million. People are starting to say this ain't no coincidence. And like Dave once said, when those big checks come in, they come with invisible strings. And if you don't play the game their way, they'll snatch everything from under you real quick. But not everybody's buying the industry hit job theory. Some fans are calling it all excuses, saying that even if these allegations turn out to be false, Shannon Sharpe still fumbled big time by messing with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model at his age. One user on X didn't hold back, posting, Shannon Sharpe is a 50-plus-year-old man. That girl was 19 when they met in 2023. She's younger than his youngest child. He's a mess. I don't feel bad for him. He had no business doing that. Another added fuel to the fire, saying, a lack of sexual discipline will really have you out here looking crazy. Shannon Sharpe was born during Jim Crow and was paying for race play from a white woman born after Chris Paul got drafted. It's harsh commentary, but it's gaining traction online. People are saying Shannon's looking reckless from every angle, and this whole situation just screams bad judgment. So now the real question is, what's really going on here? Is Shannon truly being set up like Dave Chappelle warned, with industry players pulling strings behind the scenes? Or is he just trying to flip the script and play the victim now that everything's blowing up in his face? Let us know what you think about this wild situation. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't miss what we're about to break down next.